We do have Qing Madi in the studio. I saw that your track with Joe Boy, that's Adenuga, it just hit number 1 on TikTok charts. Ooh.
I did not know that.
Guess where I saw that? Radio Chef, of course, steadily updating, guys. And with all of this success stacking up, you know, I'm sure it must be overwhelming sometimes. How do you manage to like keep your feet steady?
So sometimes, or most of the times, I like to just like find my serenity. I don't really like have an activity that I do to keep my feet steady. I just like to be alone, and it just helps me like boost my confidence and everything. Is the mic too low? Is better?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah,
that's great.
Carry on.
Oh yeah, I basically just my private time basically keeps me steady because it reminds me of, you know, my significance and what I am, what I'm doing. So.
What do you do in your private time?
I have like a mini library in my room, so I like to read.
Yeah.
So maybe that, or like, I don't know, play Sims or watch a movie. I don't know.
What do you have any specific genre of anything that you like to read?
Oh, I like fantasy-based movies. I like did I say movies? Books. I like books that are like based off of unreal activities like vampires and just mystical books.
Oh my goodness, we're the same in that regard. That's all I read actually.
No way.
Only ever read fantasy. That's all I read.
That's dope.
I'm currently reading one right now actually, and it's Empire of the Vampire, oddly enough.
I haven't read that one. So
it is based on, because you just said vampires. I'm
Yeah.
like, actually, that's what I'm reading right now. But yeah, let's celebrate some milestones, all right? I feel like you're hitting new highs every day, almost daily. Over 200 million streams across all digital platforms. You have a billboard in Times Square because of your new song Vision, the remix. And I saw that you tweeted today as was it today? Yeah, you said 17 and leaving the dream. And I'm just like, yes, you're definitely leaving the dream. But I would like to know, like, which of these incredible moments stand out the most for you? When you think back of all your success and everything amazing that's happened for you, what is your standout moment?
A standout moment. There's so many. Damn. I don't know if I can mention just one, because there's so many moments where I've been like, damn, this is real, this is crazy. But I would say like going on tour with Buju was one moment that I think really affected me positively, and you know, I think that would be the moment.
Do you want to tell me anything about that particular tour that stuck with you?
I mean, just the moment exactly of like traveling from city to city, and for people outside of Nigeria and Africa, knowing my music was just absurd. I was like, that is so cool. I feel like that affected me and how I write, because it's made me like realize that I don't have to limit my writing, because not just my people are paying attention, everyone else in the world is paying attention. So I feel like that was a beautiful moment for me.
Are you under any pressure, you know, to outdo yourself each time? You know, do you feel like there's so much that's expected of you and then you need to keep up?
Definitely. I feel like there's a lot that people expect from me all the time in terms of, you know, my releases, but it doesn't really like affect me to the point where I'm pressured or I'm like, oh no, I have to do this, I have to do that. I'm a very genuine person, especially when it comes to music. So all my music, most of the times, they're personal. So I like to be very authentic with like my words, how I create my music. And so for that, it's just like, I'm just giving you as Madi as possible music. I'm not really like, oh, I have to do this to fit this or to please this. I'm very authentic. So I'm never really pressured. I just know that when it comes for me.
Just making music to make music. Authenticity and, you know, personalizing stuff. With your creative process and the art of songwriting, you do sing about love, and you have mentioned that you do not need to be in love to write a love song.
How do y'all even get that? I said it like one time.
You did say that, right?
I said it like one time on my story.
How can you, I mean, just tell us about that, like your creative process. How do you conjure up an emotion that you're not necessarily feeling in that particular point in time?
So love songs are the easiest songs to write for me. Personally, I don't know, but I feel like love songs are the easiest because, I mean, especially as a female growing up, all like you watch from Barbie to High School Musical to every like, you know, child show, they always show you like love, or there's always like a love twist to it. So you already learn like the, you know, how it goes and everything. So you don't really have to be in that position, or you don't really have to be in that state to have to create a song that talks about love, for me. So I feel like love songs just, sometimes they may be cheesy, sometimes they're just like, you know, just like talk about stuff that's beautiful. I don't know, like when it comes to love, it's never difficult for me. I can write an album of love songs.
What's of heartbreak? You know, because love is like such a broad subject matter. And under love, you know, we have all this little like themes and stuff. So how about heartbreak as well? How do you approach heartbreak without necessarily being heartbroken yourself?
I mean, that's like, it's similar to love, to be honest. Love is way easier, but then heartbreak songs for me, like there's so much inspiration for those type of music, because like everyone low-key does them. So you get to hear like a lot of heartbreak and love songs, and it's really the easiest genre, like type of music to write, really. From me as a creative, other creatives might not agree, but that's just like my opinion.
So like, you know, when you're speaking to actors sometimes and they're like, oh, I've been playing a lover boy and I've been playing this and that, and you know, one day I would actually like to play a villain, right? Do you have that as an artist where it's like, oh, I've been writing a lot of love songs, I would like to write about this particular thing? Do you have that? And is there any like topic that you would actually like to explore but you haven't quite gotten there yet?
So one part of love that I really, really like when it comes to like love and genre and like general, I love the broken part of it. Like I love when there's like people are trying to fix it. I love that part of, you know, the whole journey. That's my favorite part to write about. Even though none of that type of my music is out yet, I feel like that would be my switch at some point, because that's like my second favorite when it comes to like the process of repairing what's already broken. I love writing about those type of things. So I feel like that might be my switch. I don't know, but then I sing about other stuff as well. You know, I don't really major in love. It's just that that's what you guys have heard. But, you know, my next projects and my next releases will possibly show you guys other, you know, other sides of me and stuff like that.
Walk me through like a typical studio session with Qing Madi. Are there any things that you find like you do repetitively? Do you have like routines or rituals and stuff?
So most of my producers are like family to me, and I work with like very, like I repeat my sessions. I don't like experiment all the time, right? I work with some particular producers all the time, and especially my friend Wade. And with him, I've become so comfortable to the point where it's like, you know, it could be like a fun session. I go to the studio and he starts playing the guitar. I'm doing like a freestyle. And, you know, once we get the right melody, I just start writing on what I'm feeling and what the melody is telling me to write on. Because sometimes my melody helps me or directs me to what I'm writing about. Like, you know, American Love melody was just so fun when I heard, like, when I was doing the da-da-na-na-na, da-da-da-na-na-na. I'm like, ooh. This is I don't know, this is a happy song. I can't do it because I just had to write something happy and fantasy based, obviously, because American Love is a Delulu song. So I just had to like follow that like path when I was writing. So I feel like that helps me to know what direction I'm writing towards. Then you know, just basically it's very simple. Very simple.
So you just dropped the video for a Vision, the remix with Chloe Bailey, where you're doing this beautiful ballet sequence. And yeah, let's talk about, you know, working with her, meeting her, and then making the video as well. Do you have any highlights from shooting the video, some memorable parts, anything interesting you like to talk to us about that?
Okay, so meeting her, obviously she was just a ball of energy and positive, you know, aura. She was really sweet. And the scene where we were like together at like the cover of the actual song, obviously the scene where we were together, we took that like multiple times because we kept laughing and everything. It was just like a beautiful moment for us, and we could just tell like it was just all love. So I felt very comfortable around her. She's obviously super talented. She took her part like once, like she literally just ate the first time, and that we were like, Pink was like, that's it, that's what we're going for. So it was a beautiful moment. She was amazing. You know, the video was really just a great and positive set.
I noticed that you kind of like to incorporate dance into your videos and just your lifestyle. It's like a form of expression for you. You did the whole ballet thing and in the video. Fun fact, it was a time Radio Chef and I were we're looking for ballet shoes for you. She hit me up. She said, I need ballet shoes for a shoot right now. We're doing like, oh my God, running helter skelter. She needed it in 2 days. And it's so interesting because sometimes, you never know like what your manager or someone on your team is running around behind the scene trying to make stuff happen. Shout out to radio for that. But yeah, talk to me about your dance beginnings. How did you start dancing? Why do you like to dance so much? What happened to the ballet? Did you stop dancing and then pick it up later?
So I actually started dancing back when I was in Benin. Marie Dance Academy. That was where like my mom registered me. First place I started dancing from. And obviously it's ballet. Like every mom wants their daughter to be in ballet. The ones that are just like, just do it for it's cute. So unfortunately it wasn't like a place of like just do it like it's cute. We were actually very serious. So the ballet was mostly like, it was very different. So people used to call us like kingdom dancers. My ballet teacher, Miss Marie, shout out to her, she was very principled and she knew the everything about ballet. Everything about ballet. So I started dancing then, and obviously I had passion for dancing because it was and it is a form of expression for me, and I just feel very comfortable in my skin when I'm dancing because it's just like super fun, especially when you're dancing with friends. It's like a really fun experience. I started dancing and pursued dancing, but not as a career, just as something that I could do and I was happy doing. But my music was very, very like primary in my life, and I stopped. I did because I was supposed to continue my education when I came to Lagos, but music took off and I tried my best to just incorporate dance to everything, my performance, my music videos, just so people just so I don't lose that part of myself and just so I can grow. So
you know how like sometimes you take some of the things that you've learned in your hobbies and then you just apply them to everyday life. I mean, it could be balance, it could be teaching you patience, it could be all of those things. How would you say that ballet has helped you just in your everyday life outside of the dancing?
I would say like perseverance, because ballet just kind of teaches you to persevere in a way when you're like just dancing and like, okay, this is what I have to do, and I have to do this to get this, and I have to be patient, and I have to it's very calculated. Ballet is never done like magically. You don't just become good overnight. So it basically teaches you patience and perseverance, and you're just like, okay, there's steps to this. I need to become comfortable. I need to know that this is a routine for me. I need to work hard in order to get this. So it just made me patient and made me know that I have to work on a regular basis. So.
I've always thought about it, the pressure on your toes.
Crazy.
I've always thought about that, like how do you guys manage that? But I find it very interesting and fascinating that I'm sure. I'm sure. Are there any other skills that you have that you're ridiculously good at that you'd like to share?
I'm like really, really good at cooking. Noodles.
Oh, I was like, oh my God, what do you want to throw down? And it's noodles.
I'm like really, really good at cooking noodles. There's that, I guess.
Can anybody corroborate?
Your cup.
Sensei in the studio, you should really, really good. He's looking behind. Don't worry, I know who I'll ask to be very certain. You have like a growing fan base right now, I would say, and every icon kind of has a tribe, right? So have you coined the name for your followers and for your fan base yet?
They did it without me.
You? What is
they
that
just
name?
started calling themselves Kings, and I was like, oh, I love
Kings.
it.
I like it too.
I love it.
Kings with a Q. I like that. How did that even come about with your name?
So it was this one time in government class, and they were literally just talking about the highest form of power for a male and highest form of power for a female. And I heard the word queen, and they were associating it with a king. So I felt very uncomfortable with the terminology and the fact that, our highest form of power was associated with someone. And I'm like, nah, I don't feel really comfortable with it, because I'm someone that really likes to be left alone and to be in charge of what I'm doing. I don't like when everybody's like trying to put their hands into my business. I don't really appreciate that. So with King, what I was trying to do was basically establish dominance over myself and my career. I was like, okay, it's King, but the Q just basically puts me as a female, because because I'm a woman at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But I'm a king because I don't need anyone to be where I'm at, and I'm just in charge. That was basically why I picked the name King.
That's really smart. I like it. I really like it. What are you trying to do with your music, all in all? You know, so many people making music and so many different ways that people receive music as well. You know, what is your idea of how you want people to receive your music generally? Like, what are you planning to do?
Basically, I've never, like, you know, from the start, C-Finish, I wasn't signed when I had C-Finish, so I didn't really think like, oh, this is gonna be a track that's gonna make people know who I was. I was just being very genuine and authentic, like I've said before. So my plan is just to stick to that and be the most Maddie that I can be, because I felt like at that time and still now, that's what my core fan base enjoy the most. They love the fact that I'm just who I am and I'm very straightforward about my message. So I mean, that's literally my strategy. Just keep doing me and just focus on myself.
What's like the strangest place that you would say that you've heard your music play? You know, when you look in your back end, you're like, oh, it's playing in Australia and it's playing in what's the place that you're like, how did my music get here, but I like it anyway?
Solomon Island.
Yeah.
I never knew that was a place, but then it's like, oh, your song is number 1 in Solomon Island. I'm like, what's Solomon Island? So I checked and I'm like, I never knew, like, you know, the city that I didn't even know, or the country I didn't even know the name of. Like, my song was number 1. I was like, okay. Like, yeah, I was super grateful that that was happening, but I feel like that's the strangest place that
Well, I would like to know, one last question. Are there any songs that are out right now, not your own music, by the way, that you're like, damn, I wish I wrote that? This song is so good. It's straight up my alley.
I've been listening to the R&B project by Buju and Ruga. I really, really wish I wrote Not Done. It's my favorite song of the project, and yeah, I wish I wrote that.
That's your jam.
It is.
All right, well,